Marina was walking through the park, enjoying the fresh air and the quiet. She often came here to take her mind off daily worries. This time, her thoughts were occupied by a recent fight with Dave. Suddenly, her attention was drawn to a woman approaching her with tears in her eyes. She was Jessica, a stunning, long-legged blonde who looked like she had just stepped off the cover of a magazine. Marina immediately felt insecure. "Excuse me, are you Marina?" Jessica asked, her voice trembling. "Yes, that's me," Marina replied, eyeing the woman warily. "I need to give you something," Jessica said, handing Marina a journal. This was Dave's journal. "I'm sorry, but I couldn't keep this to myself any longer." Marina took the journal and opened it, her heart beating faster. The pages contained Dave's entries about his long-standing love for Jessica. She couldn't believe her eyes. "Who are you?" Marina asked. "I'm Jessica. Dave and I were close many years ago," Jessica said, her voice shaking. "I found this journal among his old things and realized you needed to know the truth." Marina, struggling with a surge of emotions, gripped the journal tightly. "Why are you giving this to me now?" she asked, trying to hold back tears. "Because I couldn't hide it anymore. I don't want to ruin your life, but you deserve to know the truth," Jessica said, looking Marina in the eyes. "Thank you for your honesty," Marina said coldly, turning and walking away. Her mind was in chaos. She didn't know how to deal with the overwhelming feelings. At home, in the quiet of her bedroom, Marina continued reading the journal. Each entry hurt her more deeply. When Dave came home, she was on the verge of breaking down. "What is this, Dave?" Marina asked, showing him the journal. "How could you hide something like this from me all this time?" Dave sighed, realizing there was no way to avoid the explanations. "Marina, this was a long time ago. Jessica is part of my past. It means nothing now." "You wrote about your crazy love for her, even when we were already together," Marina shouted. "How can I trust you after this?" "Marina, I was stupid and confused. It means nothing now, I swear. You are the only one who matters to me." Dave tried to calm her, but she turned away, feeling her heart break. A few days later, to get away and try to restore their relationship, Marina and Dave decided to celebrate her birthday in the mountains. They rented a small cabin, went skiing, and warmed up with hot chocolate by the fireplace. The evening started perfectly. Marina prepared a festive dinner, and Dave carefully set the table. They laughed, recalling funny moments from the past. "Remember the first time we went skiing, and you fell right into a snowbank?" Dave laughed, pouring wine into their glasses. "Yes, and you helped me out, only to fall right after." Marina smiled, raising her glass. "To us, to our adventures, and to being together." "To us," Dave repeated, clinking glasses with her. "Marina, I know I've made many mistakes, but I want you to know, you are my only love." Marina felt her heart warm at these words. "Dave, I love you too. Let's forget all the bad moments and start over." The evening continued in a romantic atmosphere. They talked about their dreams, plans for the future, and enjoyed every moment together. Later, sitting by the fireplace, they drank hot chocolate, cuddling and watching the fire. But then, Marina heard Dave talking on the phone. She eavesdropped on his conversation. "Yes, I miss you too," Dave said. "But this isn't the best time." Marina felt jealousy flare up again. When Dave returned to the room, she was ready for confrontation. "Who were you talking to?" Marina asked sharply. "Marina, it was just an old friend. Nothing serious," Dave replied. "An old friend? The same friend as Jessica? Are you still in contact with her?" Marina's voice trembled with anger. "No, Marina, it's not like that. I love only you." Dave tried to convince her, but Marina couldn't calm down. "I can't live in constant jealousy and doubt," she yelled. Hours later, after long talks and attempts to calm down, they finally decided to set aside the argument and try to spend time together. After Marina's birthday, their life returned to its usual routine. They continued working, doing daily chores, trying to restore their trust. However, the tension remained, and Marina still had doubts. While cleaning, Marina found a box with a ring and a note. In the note, Dave confessed his crazy love for Jessica. The date at the end of the note matched their relationship timeline. This discovery shattered her confidence in Dave. Once again, Marina stood in the room, holding the box with the ring and the note, not believing her eyes. The date on the note was a painful reminder that even when they were together, Dave still thought of another woman. A lump formed in her throat, and tears welled up in her eyes. When Dave entered the room, he immediately sensed something was wrong. Seeing the box and note in Marina's hands, he felt his heart drop. "Marina, I can explain everything," he began, but she raised her hand to stop him. "You wrote this when we were already together," she said quietly, fighting back tears. "How could you?" Dave stepped closer, his voice trembling with sincerity. "It was a moment of weakness, Marina. I was stupid and confused. It means nothing now, I swear. You are the only one who matters to me." Marina turned away, feeling her heart break. But Dave was not going to give up. He gently turned her back to him, took her hands, and looked straight into her eyes. "Listen to me. I love you more than life itself. All my mistakes were foolish, and I want to make it right. Please, give me a chance to show you how much I love you." Marina slowly pulled her hands from his, her gaze full of pain and doubt. "Dave, I don't know if I can ever forgive this. You betrayed me again." At that moment, Marina heard the sound of breaking glass. She turned sharply and saw that the frame with their wedding photo had fallen off the shelf and shattered. The picture lay on the floor, covered in shards of glass. Dave looked at the photo and felt the weight of the past hanging over them. He slowly approached the photo, carefully picked it up, and saw that the image remained intact despite the broken glass. He turned to Marina, holding the photo in his hands. "It's symbolic, isn't it?" he said quietly. "Our memories, our moments, our love, they're all still intact, even if everything around is broken." Marina looked at him, realizing the meaning of his words. She stepped forward and took the photo from his hands, looking at their happy faces on their wedding day. "We were so happy then," she whispered. "We can get that back," Dave replied, his voice full of determination. "We can build a new future. I'm ready to fight for it every day." Marina looked up at Dave, her expression softening. "Are you really ready? Ready to fix everything?" "Ready," he said firmly. She nodded, and together they put the photo back on the shelf as a symbol that they were ready to restore and strengthen their relationship. Despite their attempts to rebuild trust, Marina was still emotionally unstable. There had been power outages in their area for several days, and the house was dark and cold at night. One evening, when Dave went to work, Marina accidentally broke a glass and cut her hand on the shards in the dark. When Dave found out, he immediately returned home to help her. He carefully bandaged her wound and reassured her that everything would be okay. Meanwhile, a gang was operating in their neighborhood, robbing houses in the dark. Marina and Dave were unaware of this, and their daily lives continued despite the difficulties. The next day, due to the cut on her hand, Marina was forced to stay home since her work as a graphic designer required both hands. Dave left for work, leaving her alone. Late in the evening, Marina went to bed but suddenly woke up to strange noises. She felt something was wrong and quickly realized someone was in the house. "What are these sounds?" Marina whispered. Could someone have broken into the house? In the dark, she tried to call Dave, but her cell phone had no signal. Marina decided to act quickly and remembered the single-shot firework they hadn't used while staying at the mountain cabin. Let this firework be a signal, Marina thought. Dave will definitely understand that something is wrong. After all, he was the one who bought it. She found the firework and launched it out the window. In the area where there was no light at all, the bright explosion of the firework caught Dave's attention. He immediately realized it was Marina's signal. Something strange, he muttered in confusion. He turned abruptly and sped back home. The burglars, not understanding where the firework came from, started frantically running around the house, looking for who might have done it. Marina hid in the unfinished room between the wall and a wardrobe. Please don't let them find me, Marina thought, holding her breath. One of the burglars entered the room, looking around. He started approaching the wardrobe where Marina was hiding. She heard his approaching footsteps and held her breath. Meanwhile, Dave raced home, saw a strange car near the house, and the doors wide open. Without hesitation, he rushed into the house, where he encountered the first burglar, who was packing expensive collectible alcohol from the kitchen bar. "Hey, what are you doing here?" Dave shouted. The burglar, seeing Dave, charged at him, but Dave, skilled in judo, tackled him and subdued him with a chokehold. "You picked the wrong house, buddy," Dave said, immobilizing the burglar. The commotion on the first floor drew the attention of the other two burglars, who heard Dave and the sounds of a struggle in the kitchen and quickly came downstairs. Dave didn't lose his composure and started throwing expensive drinks from a bag at the burglars. He expertly knocked out the first one with a single bottle, and the second, covering himself from the flying bottles, began to flee outside. When the bottles shattered, shards of glass cut through the burglar's thin t-shirt, leaving deep gashes on his body. The burglar screamed in pain, trying to shield himself from the flying shards. As the bandit nearly reached the car, the expensive drinks ran out. Surveying the room, Dave spotted an unopened gift for his boss, a valuable antique vase. He threw it, hitting the burglar square in the back of the head and knocking him out. "Marina! Marina, where are you?" Dave shouted. Marina, still trembling with fear, emerged from her hiding place. Soon the police arrived and took the burglars into custody. Dave and Marina, sitting by the entrance of their house, began discussing what had happened. "Honey, you realize you just broke all our collectible drinks?" Marina said with a smile. "Well, dear, if it weren't for them, we wouldn't be here right now," Dave said, laughing. "And what about the gift for my boss?" "Your boss will have to do without a gift this year," Marina chuckled, pointing at Dave. "And look at yourself. You didn't even notice you cut your hand, too." "That's just a scratch." Dave waved it off. "The important thing is that you're safe and sound." "You're right," Marina sighed, leaning against him. "I'm so glad you got here in time." "I love you, Marina," Dave said, hugging her. "I love you too, Dave," Marina replied, kissing him.